So this is Louis, and I'm currently heading out of Buffalo. I was just at court today, and I was minutes away from testifying. Just minutes away. And the person in this case that was about to be raked for a lot of money because he was brazenly committing fraud at the tune of $100 grand a year that he was being paid. And the thing is that I can't name who it is, but let me just say that there's the private sector, and then there is the public sector, and let's just say that there are certain jobs that you make a lot of money doing, and you have a big fat pension, and this guy was working that kind of job, and his job is pretty similar to mine. Let's also just say that. And so he was committing fraud. And doing so for years, and he just got off with the biggest fucking slap on the wrist ever. And I swear to fucking God, man, it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting to me that I can spend the rest of my fucking life working and never get in my bank account what this guy makes in a fucking year. It's fucking disgusting to me that this fucking cocksucker was cheating all of us out of our hard-earned money that we pay towards a certain entity in this world. We all pay towards. This guy worked for that entity and was cheating every single one of us. And no charges, no nothing. He just settled for some fucking six-figure amount, and that's going to be it. That's the fucking whole thing. And it's outrageous to me because I've had cases before where it's been some guy getting a fucking check every week or every 2 weeks for like $600 goddamn dollars, and they've gone to jail. They've gone to jail, but this guy steals from all of us, and he gets fucking nothing. A dollar amount and a smack on the fucking wrist. It is unbelievable to me that that's how this occurred today. Unbelievable. You know, and the fact is that did this guy lose his pension? Is this guy out of a job? Is this guy going to jail? No, he's going back to work. It's like, oh, you got me. You got me. I lied to a judge. I was bullshitting you. I was lying about everything. I cost people tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm not probably even going to pay back the full amount I fucking stole. I'm not even going to pay back the full amount. But, you know, just heading back to work, and I'll make it back in a fucking year of working. There are unions in this world that are too powerful. If that's what it is, I'm not sure. Maybe I have to consult with the people in the know to see what the actual problem is. But this guy should be in a fucking jail cell. This guy should pay back every goddamn penny that he robbed. And no, he's not going to. He's not going to face justice of any fucking kind. And that was his job. The biggest living fucking hypocrite. And is he going to see the inside of a cell? No. It's unbelievable to me what goes on in this world. It's just so aggravating. I'm sitting there, you know, sweating, waiting to go testify, making sure that I got everything ready. Making sure I know what I'm going to say, the whole spiel, and the attorney walks over, talks to his attorney, you know, they realize that he's fucked, they settle, and it's just an admission, okay, there's not going to be any criminal procedure, this is just an out-of-court settlement, we're going to shake hands, and we're going to be done with. He's going to pay back some amount that's been agreed upon, and that's it. That's the whole thing. And it's like, fair enough, he's going to pay back some amount, but this cocksucker's going to be going back to work when he is a fucking criminal! He is a fucking criminal! I understand that I saved this entity that hired my company probably millions of dollars, okay? We saved them a lot of goddamn money. And fair enough in that regard. You know, I did my part. I earned my peanuts that I was paid, and that's fine, that's the job. But it's ridiculous to me that after all of this, after the fucking evidence we got on this guy, where he fucking brazenly committed fraud, brazenly committed fraud, sitting in court, laughing, discussing the issue with his lawyer, and this guy's going to go back to work. You know, it's just unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable. And it's because of where he works and what he does. Because he works for a certain sector. That, despite the fact that he is a fucking living hypocrite in terms of what he does as a job, and is a criminal who defrauded his employer, and in the process cost all of us a lot of goddamn money, that doesn't matter. That isn't enough to get him out of his job.
So I'm just going to interject here briefly to bring up another point that I actually mentioned a bit in part in this commentary, but failed to really showcase as a glaring flaw with what happened here, and that is the fact that the client in this case has been complaining for quite a while now that the issue that happened in this case with fraud, in which an injury was faked in its entirety, that issue is an epidemic here in New York. They themselves view this as a major issue at the moment that is costing people paying into this system millions of dollars annually, millions and millions of dollars, because of the salaries of these people that they have to in large part pay the entirety of for when they're off. This is unbelievably costly, and there is a mass scale of fraud. I'm also going to show this picture here of just a random person doing a random job who, as you can tell from the image, is not actually from this state, so it's a generic image. But I just want to show you this image just because I felt like it had its place in this video. Otherwise, it's just going to be a black screen. But I just thought I'd give you an idea of, what the issue is here, and the fact that because they're not actually pursuing this to the degree that they should, because they have unbelievable evidence on the person in question, if they pursued the case in civil court, they could get their full money back plus damages, while at the same time trying to pursue a criminal case. Because once you start pursuing criminal cases and these people start losing their jobs and their pensions and everything, guess what? The fraud's going to stop happening. You will still have people faking injuries and getting money for nothing and, engaging in fraud. That's still going to happen. You're never going to eliminate corruption in this way, but you enable it by not pursuing it in the strongest way possible. That's the issue. And it's unbelievable to me that the client in this case can't see this case for what it is. This case could have been something for you to smash everyone else out there that is doing the same thing, to scare them into coming back to work, and for it to get around, between the different people involved in this industry, that it's not going to be tolerated anymore. And if you do engage in fraud, you're putting everything at risk. Your job, your pension, your everything, your reputation. They should be publishing these people's identities in the papers, you know what I mean? On the news. They should have their faces for the public to see if you really want to stop this from happening. I'm not the one complaining that this is fraud on a mass scale. It's you the client, you the one that's paying me and my company millions of dollars to try to solve this issue for you. And it's in one field. It's in this one industry that you're having the problem. You need to step up and do something, especially on a case like this where you could win if you fought it. You don't have to settle. You could go the full length, get your money back plus some, and then pursue criminal charges, because this person is a criminal. You had that opportunity and you didn't pursue it, and I don't know why, but you doing this is enabling it to continue. You failing to pursue criminal charges is what's going to keep a criminal working for you and saying to others, well, this time around I didn't get away with it, I had to pay back the money, but hey, maybe you can do things differently from me and you can just get away with it. Because in the end, I'm back at work talking to you about it. This is unacceptable, and it's not effective in trying to prevent it from continuing. You need to go to the extreme if this is an extreme issue, which you claim it is. I can only assume that someone that looks like this, wearing this kind of uniform, now runs the entity that hired my company. Because why else wouldn't you follow up on this? Why else would you just allow this to be a slap on the wrist and he just pays back some money? Why would you allow this guy to get away with it and allow for his fellow criminals, fellow fraudsters, why would you allow them to continue to commit fraud on a mass scale unless you have some kind of sympathy for them, unless you are somebody that used to wear that uniform? It makes no sense to me. But then again, I'm not in a certain sector in New York State. I've always been of a differing sector. So maybe if I was part of that one particular sector, it would make a lot more sense to me to just allow fucking criminality. Just accept it as the status quo. But I don't. And I don't think anyone should.
And I'm pretty sure most of you can realize this by now, but I very much am an idealist. I very much would like my perception of what the world should be to be the world in actuality, but it isn't. And it's times like this where I am deeply frustrated by the fact that there are people out there who do wrong in every way that they can, just knowingly commit a criminal act and defraud all of us in the process. It's just kind of amazing to me that people in other sectors who are dirt poor, that have nothing, that do commit fraud and are criminals, go to jail for close to 10 years for what this guy fucking did. I mean, in the other case, at least the one I know of that I did, this guy was not brazenly committing fraud, but was committing fraud. And in this case, this guy's, I can't describe what he was doing, but he's out there in participating in sports. And that wasn't the footage that I got, but it was another investigator that got that. And so it's like, okay, this guy is just bullshitting the entire injury. He's claiming near total disability, and he's not disabled at all. At all. Lying about 100% of what is allegedly wrong with him. And is not going to face any criminal charges, despite the fact that he lied in court to a judge about his injury in total, okay? No exaggeration, just lied flat out to a judge to his face in court under oath. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, apparently. He's good. He's fine. He'll be back to work in a fucking week. The attorney came out and told us that they were going to settle, and so the other investigators and I walked out, and they took it in stride that this had gone down the way that it is, and one of the investigators had a lot more seniority and said that this is pretty common. But I didn't lash out right then, as I am right now. But I said to them as we're heading out, like, fuck that guy. Like, oh no, this and that. They said, it's like, no, fuck him. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. He is a criminal. I don't believe in karma, but I wish ill will upon him. If I didn't fear losing my job, man, I would name and shame you. You are a disgusting fucking human being. And you should go to the grave ashamed for what you are, a living hypocrite. A living hypocrite. But no, he's gonna get off, and he's gonna live out his days, and probably he lives in some shithole, despite how much money he earns, and I have no idea why. I think he went through a bad divorce, and good for her. I hope she takes every penny of that settlement, you fucking cock sucker. I hope your ex-wife takes everything from your settlement. I hope you continue to live in that little hovel that you do. I hope your kids find out what you are. I hope they find that out about you. And that they feel shame in talking about their father as a fucking criminal, as a piece of scum, someone that is low in society, someone that should be ashamed for what they are, settlement or no settlement. But I'll leave it there because I'm rambling and I'm just angry and frustrated, but I'll upload this anyways just so you guys can get a taste of the world in which we live and how that, there are cases in which people are treated improperly by the courts and by police and how that's unfair, how that's unjust, and, I don't wish upon, criminals to die and all the rest. I think that, justice is served in the courtroom and all the rest. You know what I believe. But I don't think it's right that once you do have a fucking piece of criminal scum in the courthouse, that you give them a slap on the wrist. It's up to the attorneys representing the parties that be to decide the matter. It's not up to me. But it just seems unfair to I can't say that, to the people that paid into it, all of us. But I think it's unfair to everyone, including the client who hired myself and this attorney. I don't think it's fair to them either. I get that they want to wrap this up, but they've been upset about the fact of how big of a problem this is in this certain sector, how many criminal cocksuckers there are out there leeching off of all of us, and they want to change it, and so do I. You know, if we need to pass some kind of policy to rein in people within this certain sector, then so be it. Have it done with. Because I'm all for people working hard, earning a good wage, having a good life, having a big fat pension to retire on. I'm fully in favor of that. But I have zero fucking empathy or sympathy for criminals. I have zero sympathy for them. If you defraud your employer, if you are a criminal and you lie to a judge, you should lose everything. You should lose every cent that you earned unjustly. You should lose every cent of it. You should lose your job, and you should serve some time. You should go to fucking jail at a minimum for doing that. Getting off scot-free is not just. That is not justice. That is not fair for all of us that were robbed in the process. But I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening.